today isn't just any other day. It's my first day. I'm the man.
Welcome to WatchMojo, and today we're looking at TV shows that are now 25 years old and that have held up incredibly well. In order to honor more iconic shows, the show doesn't have to be exactly 25 years old. We'll be giving a 1-year leeway on both sides, which means the shows had to be released between 1999 and 2001.
We in it shall be remembered. We lucky few, we band of brothers.
SpongeBob SquarePants.
I'll just keep you back here until Patrick finishes that stable I asked him to build. Only 8 more hours.
In case you couldn't tell from the endless memes, SpongeBob SquarePants still has incredible staying power. The 15th season of the show aired in 2024, with the show having continued after the tragic death of creator Steven Hillenburg in 2018. Thanks to its timeless appeal, effortless ability to bridge age gaps, and razor-sharp writing, SpongeBob SquarePants is just as fresh today as it was on May 1st, 1999. People who were raised on the show in the early 2000s are now raising their own children and introducing them to the yellow sponge, ensuring his legacy for generations to come.
I don't need it. I don't need it. I don't need it. I don't need it. I need it!
Smallville.
Sweetheart, we can't keep him. We're gonna tell people we found him out in the field.
Spanning nearly the entire 2000s, Smallville expertly blends coming-of-age teen drama with superhero origin story. The superhero, of course, is Superman, with Tom Welling playing a young Clark Kent. The 21st century has been inundated with superhero shows, whether it's the dramas found over on Disney+, or the Arrowverse that enjoyed huge ratings on the CW. And despite now being over 20 years old, Smallville can proudly stand with the best of them, with a great overarching story and a strong cast. It works for both die-hard Superman fans and for anyone who just wants an enjoyable coming-of-age story. Farscape.
Stay back. Stay back or I swear I will kill you.
I don't think that's very polite.
Once the anchor series on the Sci-Fi Channel, Farscape has been mostly forgotten as we progress further into the new millennium. But for a minute there, it was the best piece of science fiction on TV, and for our money, it is still well worth watching. The show has a lot in common with Firefly, being focused on space travel and starring a gang of ragtag outlaws, including a protagonist who is constantly referencing pop culture. The show has a dense mythology that can be endlessly studied, not to mention some amazing practical effects and puppetry that still looks great to this day. Black Books.
What is your mother's maiden name? What's her first name? I just knew her as Ma! Ma! That'll have to do. Ma.
We're heading across the pond for Black Books, which is easily one of the most successful British sitcoms of the early 2000s. Created by Dylan Moran and a pre-IT crowd Graham Linehan, it follows the life of a misanthropic bookshop owner named Bernard Black. Bernard has classic odd couple chemistry with shop assistant Manny Bianco, and the series thrives on unpredictability, especially when it comes to its wide variety of comedic styles. Wordplay, pratfalls, absurd scenarios, it's all here. Add a cozy setting and relatable themes surrounding work and social awkwardness, and you have yourself a classic British sitcom.
You lot, you better clear off. I have to do a few, I have to. Ah! Skinheads! Perfect!
Alias.
I've got bad news for you, man. I am your worst enemy. I've got nothing to lose.
It's the show that made Jennifer Garner a star. She plays Sydney Bristow, a CIA agent working as a mole inside the criminal organization SD6. The show was created by J.J. Abrams, so you know exactly what you're gonna get. Lots of tantalizing mystery, fun sci-fi twists, great cliffhangers, and thrilling action sequences that were unlike anything on network TV at the time. Garner is also excellent as Sydney, with her physicality and vulnerability creating a relatable yet formidable character. Despite being a long network show, its character-driven narratives and serialized structure make it perfect for the binging age.
You ever tried this one? I think it's too light for me. What do you think? It's pretty on you. Thanks.
Jackass.
Charge!
Take any male millennial off the street, and chances are that he was a fan of Jackass. The These guys defined a generation, and with nothing more than sheer charisma, some cheap cameras, and a boundless imagination. It's quite quaint going back to the show after watching the movies, as there is virtually zero production value to speak of. But that's part of that 2000 MTV magic. It's just a bunch of silly dudes having fun with their friends, and that is timeless. We'll probably never get a TV show like this again, so let's appreciate its place in history, and run a shopping cart into a curb for old time's sake.
I want you to punch me in the face 1 second prior to takeoff so it softens the blow.
Samurai Jack.
What do we have here? The all-powerful blade of the samurai. The only power that can harm me.
The winner of 8 Primetime Emmy Awards, Samurai Jack is undeniably one of the best animated shows of all time. This thing has it all: heart, humor, and some great action. The show is visually stunning, using a minimalist yet highly stylized art style that is now instantly recognizable and totally iconic. It also excels in episodic storytelling, which is slowly becoming a rarity in today's age of binging and serialization. And man, the music and sound design remain top tier. We don't know how they did it. Samurai Jack is a stone-cold classic, and many of its elements remain unmatched. Batman Beyond.
Let's put a smile on his face.
Leave him alone. And get off my property. You're trespassing.
And if you want another fantastic piece of animation, may we veer you towards Batman Beyond. The show's ability to balance tones and bridge age gaps is frankly astounding, with fun superhero elements for kids and dark, mature storytelling for the adults. The city of Neo Gotham is also wonderfully unique and visually striking with both cyberpunk and noir aesthetics, allowing the show to stand apart from its many contemporaries. Yes, it shows some minor signs of aging, but hey, that's in keeping with the story's larger themes, and it only makes them that much more impactful.
We're the Jokers!
Sure you are.
Trailer Park Boys.
I smoked a bunch of dope till 5 in the morning, ended up passing out in the sewer pipe because it's kind of cramped back here and my back's been a little sore. Anyway, I slept there, had a pretty good sleep, but I still had to get up early this morning because I got responsibles now.
At this point, we don't know why Ricky, Julian, and Bubbles aren't on the Canadian currency. A national institution, Trailer Park Boys is arguably the most popular sitcom to come out of the Great White North, following the animated inhabitants of the Sunnyvale Trailer Park. The show is every bit as funny as it was in 2001. In fact, its inventive mockumentary style has aged remarkably well considering the proliferation and popularity of the genre. This is a little less family-friendly than shows like The Office and Parks and Rec, but just as gut-busting. F&A, bud, this is a good one.
I'd swear that was Randy if that guy didn't have a shirt on.
Nice shirt, too.
One Piece. If you haven't already, we don't recommend starting One Piece from the beginning. Well, we do recommend it because it's an awesome show, but it is a heck of a time commitment, so, clear your calendar. The show has aired over 1,100 episodes and is still going strong, like a jacked grandfather. The world building is second to none, with deep lore that can be studied and discussed for days on end. Of course, the overarching story is also excellent, with great characters, fun mysteries, and limitless imagination. And the fact that its quality has remained consistent is nothing short of remarkable. Queer as Folk.
Just checking out the bars, Toy Toy, Meat Hook.
Meat Hook? Really? So you're into leather?
Sure.
Based on the UK series of the same name, Queer as Folk follows 5 gay men from Pittsburgh. It aired at a time when LGBTQ+ rights were still a hotly debated issue, helping pave the way for cultural acceptance and pushing boundaries with its bold portrayal of sexuality. It not only forced mainstream audiences to confront their biases and assumptions, it also offered a raw and unapologetic depiction of gay life. Of course, it wasn't just representation for the sake of it. The characters are relatable and their journeys compelling, making Queer as Folk a genuinely great show, even divorced from its groundbreaking cultural implications.
Do you mind if we skip the backstory and cut to the chase? It's almost 2 in the morning.
Spaced.
You working?
What?
Working. Earning money, cash.
Yes. Yes, we are.
Yeah, we're very
Busy.
For all your comic needs, Fantasy Bazaar.
Simon Pegg, Nick Frost, and Edgar Wright are big names today, but that wasn't the case in 1999. It was then that they released a little show called Spaced, and it helped launch their careers into the stratosphere. The plot concerns two 20-something strangers pretending to be a couple in order to rent a flat, but that's just an excuse to get into various Peggian shenanigans. Pop culture references abound, and Wright films the sitcom with a cinematic flair, offering turn-of-the-century viewers a glimpse of his creative genius. It was only a taste of things to come.
Pack your party bags, people, because tonight's going to be a large one. All right? Very lucky. Oi, oi!
What was all that about Madonna?
Ty's got a really short attention span. I remember once we... Oh, look, wrestling.
The West Wing.
It's bulletproof glass in the windows, okay? If you want to kill me, you're going to have to do it from inside the building.
While it aired on NBC, The West Wing is a prestige cable drama through and through. This political drama is set primarily in the White House during the presidential run of Josiah Bartlet, following the lives of the president and his executive branch. Actors like Martin Sheen, Allison Janney, and Rob Lowe brought a Hollywood flair to the network drama, which at the time was virtually unheard of. The writing of Aaron Sorkin is also timeless, with the show being known for its razor-sharp dialogue and intricate plots. It is undeniably one of the greatest political dramas of all time, and probably the most revolutionary.
If fidelity to freedom and democracy is the code of our civic religion, then surely the code of our humanity is faithful service to that unwritten commandment that says we shall give our children better than we ourselves receive.
Gilmore Girls.
I'm going to Yale.
That's where you went, Dad.
You liked it, remember?
Pass the Johnny Machete, please.
Pass the...
I don't understand. I thought you wanted me to go to Yale.
No, we didn't.
Absolutely not.
What gave you that idea?
While it was never a huge hit during its original run, Gilmore Girls has become a bona fide cult classic. Its idyllic small-town atmosphere and quirky characters prove very comforting, which is a balm in our time of uncertainty and anxiety. Alexis Bledel and Melissa McCarthy went on to become huge stars, so curious viewers wish to see where it all began. And finally, the show is very multi-generational, with the theme being built into the plot. It's a tradition for mothers to watch Gilmore Girls with their teenage daughters, ensuring a generational bridge that has endured throughout the last quarter-century.
What is all this?
It's lunch. Thanks, Lou.
Got a little something from everywhere.
I wouldn't know where to begin.
Well, start at the top and stop when you hit table.
I had no idea so many different kinds of foods came on sticks.
Malcolm in the Middle.
Dad, I want skating lessons.
Son, you know, once you start, there's no going back.
Nowadays, it's common to see a single-camera sitcom without a laugh track. But that was not the case back in 2000 when Malcolm in the Middle aired to great acclaim. Its filming style proved revolutionary and helped pave the way for successive sitcoms, eventually leading to the likes of The Office and Modern Family. But style aside, the show is also gut-bustingly hilarious, with fantastic characters and an authentic working-class family atmosphere. It made Frankie Muniz a star, and Bryan Cranston's Hal has to be one of the best characters in sitcom history.
Al, can you replace that light bulb in the kitchen?
What does it look like I'm doing?
Curb Your Enthusiasm.
What a hero you are. Thank you for your
Please.
service.
Oh, thank you. The real heroes are still there, but I appreciate it.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Yeah, grateful nation.
And this is our friend Larry.
Hey, nice to meet you.
Shortly after leaving Seinfeld, Larry David created Curb Your Enthusiasm, which, if nothing else, gave us a brilliant meme. David stars as a fictionalized version of himself, often getting into heated arguments and horribly awkward social scenarios based on gross misunderstandings. It's like a darker and meaner Seinfeld, which makes sense considering it aired on HBO. The show's humor and writing continues to draw acclaim, and its celebrity guest cameos, most of which were entirely improvised, simply never get old. And with a fearless approach to taboo topics, Curb Your Enthusiasm has long endured in the cultural conversation.
So you deny the whole thing?
It's all Parkinson's, Larry. It's all Parkinson's.
The head shake at the bar?
Parkinson's.
Soda?
Parkinson's.
Clumping?
Parkinson's.
Are you sure?
Yeah, Larry, I'm dead certain.
24.
I may not make it out of this.
I'm not gonna lie to you, Mrs. Palmer. That's a possibility.
In 2025, 24 turns 24 years old. How fitting. And there is still no other TV show like it. The story follows federal agent Jack Bauer as he battles various terrorist organizations and threats like bombs, cyber warfare, and presidential assassinations. He's one of the most iconic characters in TV history, with his unrelenting determination and moral ambiguity making him both heroic and deeply flawed. He is one of the OG anti-heroes of television. And the show's format remains innovative a quarter-century later, with each season unfolding in real time and utilizing split screens to weave together multiple concurrent storylines. It's brilliant stuff.
You were gonna tell me now how to find the rest of the nerve gas.
Well, go ahead and do it, Jack. Get it done. Shoot me. Eke at me. Go ahead, do it.
Do it!
Family Guy.
Lois, this is really hard for me to say, but,
What is it, Peter?
You're getting kind of fat.
It was January 31st, 1999, and 83 million people had just watched the Broncos defeat the Falcons in Super Bowl 33. 22 million then stuck around to watch a little new show called Family Guy. Of course, you now know this show as the cultural behemoth that it became. Like its obvious influence, The Simpsons, opinion remains divided on newer seasons of Family Guy. But most people find that it is still well worth watching, even now 26 full years into its run. As for the first 4 or 5 seasons, they remain some of the best animated comedy in television history.
Well, you probably want me to get out of your hair, so here's the Drano in case there's a clog. Soap's right there next to the radio, and towels are on the roof. So, good night.
Futurama.
Hello? Pizza delivery for, Icy Wiener? Oh, crud. I always thought by this point in my life I'd be the one making the crank calls.
Just 2 months after Family Guy premiered, another iconic animated sitcom was born. This, of course, is Futurama, created by none other than Matt Groening of Simpsons fame. The show takes place 1,000 years in the future, after pizza delivery man Philip J. Fry gets reawakened from cryogenic sleep. Futurama was never the cultural phenomenon that The Simpsons was, but it still held its own with a unique setting, fun characters, and that signature Groening-esque satire. The memes that sprouted from the show are unparalleled, and they speak to the cultural influence that Futurama has had on multiple generations of fans.
Behold! Homo Farnsworth frolicking with dinosaurs at the moment of creation.
I don't want to live on this planet anymore.
Freaks and Geeks.
Okay, the dance is tomorrow. She's a cheerleader. You've seen Star Wars 27 times. Do the math.
It's amazing how just one season of TV can alter the course of pop culture. John Francis Daley, James Franco, Seth Rogen, Jason Segel. You know these names. And it's all thanks to a little show that came and went on NBC called Freaks and Geeks. The cast is absolutely stacked, and one could certainly argue that it's the most iconic cast in television history, at least in terms of creating future stars. And even if they didn't become Hollywood royalty, the show would still hold up incredibly well thanks to its rich writing, mature storylines, and realistic glimpse into high school life.
And remember, don't believe everything they say about people in the school, because they don't always take the time to get to know everyone.
Guys, I'm just sitting 3 tables over. I'm not moving back to Florida. Well, you know.
Scrubs.
There we are. Everybody's scared.
Yeah, pretty much.
A lot of sitcoms from the 2000s have not aged particularly well, but that is not the case with Scrubs. The lack of a laugh track certainly helps, as does the show's style, which still hasn't been replicated. It is a genius mix of goofy comedy and hard-hitting drama, of both the personal and medical variety. And the show has a rather unique atmosphere with its use of voiceover and surreal cutaways. The cast is also brilliant, with Zach Braff in particular becoming a major star and earning 3 Golden Globe nominations. Medical shows are a dime a dozen, but there has never been anything quite like Scrubs.
Remember what you told me? The second you start blaming yourself for people's deaths, there's no coming back.
The Office.
You're quite a philosopher. Well, it's just that I think our greatest glory is not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall.
Are you reading these?
Am I what?
Reading the quotes.
Sort of.
It's the show that started a phenomenon. Created by Ricky Gervais and Stephen Merchant, the show is a masterpiece of cringe comedy and is undeniably one of the best British sitcoms in television history. While it's much darker than its American counterpart, it is still breathtakingly funny, with astonishing performances, clever camera work, and sensational writing from Gervais and Merchant. Sometimes we forget we're watching a show, so realistic is its style and technique. David Brent may be one of the most complicated protagonists in sitcom history, but he sure makes for good television, and Gervais plays him to perfection.
Okay, your personal details.
Liberal.
Your physique. Would you say you are slim, average, well-built, heavily built? Should I put heavily built?
Well-built.
Yeah?
Yeah. Most of it's muscle, isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Okay.
6 Feet Under.
What were we supposed to do, just throw Dad in the back of Claire's car?
It is a hearse.
As you can probably tell from its title, 6 Feet Under is obsessed with death. A mix of black comedy and psychological drama, it follows the owners of a Los Angeles funeral home, their family drama, and their profound interactions with grieving individuals. It's a very dark show, but it has a lot of smart and interesting things to say about mortality and the meaning of life. Oscar-winning screenwriter Alan Ball proves an adept showrunner, bringing a writing quality to TV that was revolutionary for the time. And man, that series finale drops the mic harder than any drama before or since.
Oh, I want to take a picture of everyone.
Can't take a picture of this, it's already gone.
Band of Brothers.
Well, from what I've heard, they've always had one. I've been told there's always been one man they could count on. Let him into the Black Jack, held them together when they had the crap shelled out of them in the woods. Every day kept the spirits up, kept the men focused, gave them direction. All the things a good combat leader does.
Many people make rewatching Band of Brothers an annual tradition, often around Veterans Day or Christmas, and it speaks to the show's incredible staying power. Following Saving Private Ryan, Tom Hanks and Steven Spielberg teamed up again to create this historical epic following Easy Company in the European theater of World War II. Band of Brothers is one of the best war dramas ever made, containing a remarkable cast of huge stars, a deeply emotional storyline, and some of the best production values in television history. It is remarkable how well the show holds up, and it deserves every second of its annual rewatchings.
When he said, "Grandpa, were you a hero in the war?" Grandpa said no. But I served in a company of heroes.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. The Sopranos.
The morning of the day I got sick, I've been thinking. It's good to be in something from the ground floor. I came too late for that. I know. But lately, I'm getting the feeling that I came in at the end. The best is over.
Television changed forever on the night of January 10th, 1999. The second James Gandolfini sat down opposite Lorraine Bracco, we knew we were watching something different. The acting was impeccable, the writing flawless, the themes it was speaking on universal and relatable. And that's just the first 5 minutes. What followed is one of the greatest and certainly the most influential dramas in TV history, changing the course of the medium forever. And legacy aside, The Sopranos is just as fresh, funny, and hard-hitting today as it was 26 years ago. And now, everyone knows what gabagool is. There may be no better legacy.
Tony gabagool, Grandma. It's nothing but fat and nitrates.
Gabagool. Over here.
Can you believe these shows are now 25 years old? Let us know in the comments below.
Here's to another lousy millennium.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.